Hello, everybody. I'm live here with another Cameron's Corner. It is earlier than I said it would be. Sorry about that. I messed up the time as usual. This time I can't even blame it on the time zones. But as you'll notice, it is my birthday today. I'm 40, if you can believe that, which is, it feels good, honestly. Like I don't mind getting old. It's kind of exciting to be finally at 40. I've been telling people I'm close to 40 for a while, but I'm there. So my kids made me wear this thing today, so I thought, oh, what the heck? I'll just be funny and wear it. And so it's partly because of that I wanted to do this earlier. So I apologize for anybody that was going to watch it at their time, and I jumped the gun. Sorry. So I wanted to show you this picture. Jordan made this for me with an AI tool, and I thought it was awesome. I just wanted to show that. Thanks, Jordan. Coolest picture ever. AI is great in that way for useless, funny gifs or pictures. You can make a picture of anything. So today, I actually wanted to talk about some bad news, not bad news, but some negative feedback that we've gotten, especially with social media. It's so easy to always think that everything's rosy and happy, and we only show you the good things and talk about the good things, which is good and positive, but we do get negative feedback, and everybody in their life has negative things. And so I also want to talk about that and maybe talk through some of the reasoning of why we're doing some of the things that we're doing, and just kind of be vulnerable and open that way. But before I do that, I want to highlight a few of the events that are coming up. And I know Jordan's waiting in the wings. He's the man in the chair as usual. Where is that? There's some cool events coming up. So the first one I want to talk about is the Write Cute this Friday, which is a speed networking event. So you can quickly meet other people, writers, editors, coaches, whoever, and form relationships. And possibly these relationships could help your writing career for years to come. So it's a really great time. Writers are, especially in a post-COVID where everything's digital, and we often meet online, this is another way to be able to meet people. So, and there's Jordan putting the link in the comment there, plotter.com/write-cute. We also are starting a new thing, a new type of event. This is for editors only, or mostly. We're calling it Plotter for Editors. And Troy Lambert is going to teach editors how to use Plotter for their clients. And so that's why it's focused mostly on them. It's a 7-week course, and Jordan will put the link in there. It's plotter.com/plotter for editors, plotter-for-editors. And it's starting Wednesday from 7 to 8 Eastern. And it's going to help you streamline your workflow. And it comes with, we give you Plotter Pro for life included in that. And this is kind of our first attempt at that. So it's a bit cheaper than it will be in the future. And it's kind of our beta test group with these people. But we don't often give out Plotter Pro for life anymore. And so these editors will get that if you join our course. So I think that's all I should say about that. And then on the 15th, which is a Saturday, we're doing an event about nonfiction. So Honoré Corder is going to teach us her system for writing nonfiction. And then I'm going to be teaching about the template in Plotter for nonfiction and how you can use her system in Plotter for nonfiction. And so it's a great collaboration, the first of many for nonfiction that we've done. And it's going to help a lot of people. It's helped me in my own nonfiction. I'm writing nonfiction, and her system saved my book. So I'm glad to have that in Plotter. And that is Saturday, the 15th of June at 12 Eastern with Honoré Corder, if you know her. So with those things out of the way, I want to show you our feedback. And so to do that, I'm going to share another picture here. Oh, you know what? I gotta open that. Okay, and maybe this person probably didn't want me to show everything about what they said. There's no name on it or anything. But but I'll just read it so everybody can hear. I'm only interested in Plotter for the software. I get professional development and networking from other sources. It's been a bit frustrating to see so much happening on outside of the software when there are still some really basic issues with the software, like accessibility issues. For example, very minimal difference in bold text, no undo feature in notes typing areas. So if you accidentally delete something, you're beep, terrible formatting when pasting information in from another program. Also, I was surprised to see that Plotter was charging for the networking and other small events. I could understand if it's a major conference or something, but charging for the events I've seen recently was off-putting to me. Overall, I'm not interested in anything but the software and what could be done to improve it, such as making co-working and shared documents between accounts easier than it is now, fixing glitches with the dashboard, with things crashing or not loading properly more often than not, etc. And I have another one that's in the same vein here that I want to read. And this person says, it's at the end of an email about with some other feedback. And he says, P.S. This borders on arrogance on my part, yet sometimes risks are important to take. I like how he framed that. Even if he didn't say that, would have been fine. But if I offend, I apologize here. Or I apologize. Here goes. Plotter is now committing considerable resources, capital, time, people, to producing and publishing webinars to instruct writers in the art of writing. While this is commendable, it can be known that it is easy to find similar how-to write coaching sessions on YouTube at no cost to the user. Please consider recommitting Plotter's resources to improving the program's printing features as described above, at least until you all make said improvements. So there's very specific features that he was looking for, and he wanted us to do that first. And I really appreciate that because we have always been, since the beginning, very dedicated to listening to people and getting feedback and listening to that feedback. And that's where a lot of our good features have come from. And so we take very seriously what people tell us. And so hearing that is not a negative. And I want to highlight that here, that we love negative feedback. It helps us know where to focus our efforts, maybe where we've gone wrong and where we can fix things. That being said, we don't just take everybody's word, take them at their word. And we do have a vision for where we're going, and we try and follow that. And we know we're going to make mistakes along the way, and that's okay. Hopefully that's okay. But we course correct when we find out we made a mistake. So this education, is it a mistake or not? There's actually 5 things I want to go over, 5 things of why we think going down this route of giving more how to write education is a good thing for the software and for people, writers in general. And I kind of have notes here in front of me. I wrote them down, so I'm going to use a mix of reading and just speaking. But the first one is that teaching people to use Plotter and teaching Storycraft, 2 different things, are so closely related that they just fit really well. And an effort to do one overlaps the other. So we're already spending the money and thinking about it. It's something that I'm really passionate about. For my birthday today, 3 of the things I got was 3 craft books. Well, actually 4. One's still coming in the mail. It's Story Genius. I got Story Genius. I'm really excited about that. And I got 3 other craft books. It's something I think about a lot. I'm really passionate about that. I'm really curious about it. The psychology of writing and how cool it is that you can tell a story that changes somebody's heart, and even if it doesn't change them, but just gives them an incredible experience. And that is fascinating to me. So it's something that I'm going to study whether we teach about it or not. But because Plotter and writing craft are so related and they overlap so well, and we're already thinking about it and studying it and curious and passionate about it, that it only makes sense, and they just go together so well. And Plotter has always been tried to focus on what is the perfect tool for crafting a story, and so us teaching people helps us to inform ourselves about the software and what the software could be. And I'll talk about that more in a second. But the second point is education is actually meant to give us more funds to be able to build the software. Instead of taking funds and resources away from the software, one of the ideas is to give more resources to be able to build the software faster and better. And we think that's going to be successful. It's kind of a bet, and so we're taking a risk here, just like every business is. But we think we have a good through our customer research and our track record so far with educational events, we have a good idea or a good basis for thinking that this is actually going to be very successful and give more funds to be able to make the software even better. Third point is that it gives us more opportunities to hear from people and to see what could be better in the software. So the more people that we're talking to by educating them about writing, it's actually informing us about the software. And sometimes, at least for me, this is my process. It takes me a couple years sometimes to really think through something in writing that needs software attached to it, or that something that could be better in the software. And so you may think that the software is not getting improved, but as we're teaching people, I'm definitely getting tons of ideas of, oh, this is like the setup and the payoff. That's a very interesting thing. And if there's a better way in Plotter to get a setup and a payoff to establish that and see that the payoff does have a setup and the setup does actually have a payoff, to visualize that. That's just one example. There's lots of those things that I'm going to be doing, or that I'm thinking through and trying to figure out, and talking to people and educating people actually helps us. And we get more feedback from people. And so another point, the fourth point, is that it brings in more people. By teaching people, we have a wider audience, so it brings in more people and hopefully more funds, more money, and more feedback from people. So it's this virtuous cycle of improving the software and helping people, helping writers. And the last point, I'm already going over time, so I'll finish here, is that our dev team is only so big, and it can only do so much. Troy Lambert and CJ are not spending their time teaching instead of programming. They don't know how to program, so they can't help us with that. And a case could be made that, fire them and hire more developers, but we need them to be able to teach about the software in the first place. And like I said, it's just that virtuous cycle. So we aren't diverting any attention away from the software. It's still moving along just as well or better than it was before, and we're getting just as much done as we were before in the most creative and focused way possible. And we're going to keep doing that. And software is a messy thing. Invention, creation is a messy process. You know that from writing your books. And so it's not this, why can't you hurry up and make the best thing ever? And I know that's not what they meant. That's not what they were talking about. That's not what they were trying to push us to. But just like getting that perfect book or the perfect payoff for your setup, it takes time and it takes creativity. So we're working on it. But I'll get off my soapbox now. And thanks so much for the good feedback that we normally get and for the bad feedback. It's really valuable to hear that. And there was no offense taken at all. So that guy didn't need to apologize at all. We appreciate it. And we're just grateful that you care enough to tell us that. We really like that. So with that, thanks for joining my Cameron's Corner Live, and we'll see you way before my next birthday. Have a good one. Bye. Oh, cowabunga. I almost forgot to say cowabunga. Cowabunga, everybody. See ya.